LoreWarrior Aerotech, KR-61 class long-range shuttle, and the K-1 class drop shuttle. So, the long-range shuttle is used to transport small goods and personnel from a planet out to jump points and back, thus freeing dropships to perform larger, more important tasks. The KR-61 is just one of several kinds of long-range shuttles. The KR-61's streamlined fuselage is similar to that of the ST-46 shuttle, but its interior is organised differently. The craft has a much larger engine than the ST-46 shuttle and carries roughly 8 times the fuel, allowing the craft to make long journeys from planet to jump points and back. The fuselage is plated with 10 ton of armour, twice that of the ST-46 because more pirate attacks occur away from the orbit. All of these capabilities severely limit the long-range shuttle's transportation capability. The craft can carry only 8 ton of cargo and has room for only 4 people, including the pilot and co-pilot. The cramped interior consists of 2 main compartments. The forward compartment is a combined cockpit and passenger section containing 4 bunks, the life support system, the food storage and processing facilities, and a tiny washroom. A door on the rear wall leads directly into the tiny cargo hold, and measuring only a few meters square, the cargo section can hold up to 8 tons of equipment. The cargo compartment serving as the only airlock aboard the craft, with all entry and exit being through this compartment. For emergencies, a small access hatch is located underneath the floor of the crew compartment. The K-1 drop shuttle is used more often than the KR-61 long-range shuttle due to its higher cargo capacity and roomier interior. The craft is designed when jump ships were plentiful and passage aboard one was inexpensive. At 200 tons, the drop shuttle is the smallest space vehicle with a docking collar for attaching to jump ships. At the cost of jump ship travel now being precluding using such craft, the drop shuttle has taken on the same duties of the long-range shuttle, and on rare occasions, when there is adequate room on a jump ship, it is used as intended. So stat-wise, the KR-61 long-range shuttle is 100 tons, it's 20 meters long and 18 meters wide, with a crew of 2. It has 8 tons of cargo with 2 passengers. The drive system is the Pitband 300 Alpha, and it's first introduced in 2598, but it's considered to be uncommon as far as sightings are concerned. It has a thrust of 5 and an overthrust of 8, which means it apparently has the same movement profile as a McKenna-class battleship? Okay. Its engine is 300, weighing about 19 tons, and it has 600 fuel, using about 1.12 tons a day. It has 40 armour on the nose, 20 on the left and right side, 70 on the fuselage, and 10 on the engine. Now, the K-1 drop shuttle is a little bit different because, unlike the long-range shuttle, this actually has some weaponry to defend itself. This is 200 tons, as it says, and it's 28 meters long and 22.5 meters wide, again with a crew of 2. It has 55 ton of cargo complement and 6 passenger carrying capacity. It has a single LRM-5, 4 medium lasers, a small laser, and a ton of LRM ammunition. Its drive system is the Pratt & Whitney 400 and was introduced in 2536, and is also counted as being rather uncommon as far as sightings are concerned. It has a thrust of 4 and an overthrust of 6, and its engine weighs 52.5 ton. It has 450 fuel and uses about 1.06 tons per day. It has 40 armour on the nose, 25 on the left and right side, 90 on the fuselage, and 12 on the engine. The LRM-5 and a medium laser are located in the nose of the craft, and the left and right wings, so to speak, have a medium laser, with the aft having the remaining medium laser and the small laser, giving it a fire factor of 1, 1, and 1 in nose, wing, and aft. Thought I would sort of merge these two into one, both because they have relatively short write-ups, and 2, they basically do the same job. It's just one is bigger than the other and carries guns, and the other is smaller and a little faster. Not a huge amount of difference. To be honest, I think I would prefer to be in the drop shuttle if I had to go out beyond the planet with the risk of being attacked by pirates, because at least the drop shuttle has a means to shoot back, whereas the long-range shuttle has no self-defense capability and apparently can still be attacked by pirates. I know which one of the 2 I would rather be on if I had to be a passenger. That said, it's, an important part of Again, just public transportation of people in the inner sphere. It's a relatively small number of people that it transports. I mean, between them, they can take, was it 8 people in total, which is a relatively small number of people when you consider just how populous some worlds are in the inner sphere. I mean, these worlds are densely populated, heavily developed, with probably a need for transport of many, many people. So the idea that these little shuttles are taking people to jump ships that are at the, waiting at jump points to get passage to another system seems a little silly, a little ridiculous in some respects, but it is what it is at the time of the write-up. These books were written at the time when Battletech was first started, in 3025 setting, where tech was supposed to be on a knife edge, and so I guess the idea is that these kinds of shuttles didn't need to be taking a lot of people around, because frankly there wouldn't be that many people wealthy enough, presumably, to just go, flitting about to other star systems on a whim. A lot of people would probably be living, a relatively simple life in the ruins of the Succession era, out on the planets, especially on the border worlds that probably ends up being attacked back and forth by neighbouring houses quite regularly. Obviously, later on, things, the writing kind of shifted and made things seem a bit more kind of generic sci-fi, with different places just having a lot of people who seem to be affluent and mobile, a lot of these yuppie types going about, and just sort of moving between systems willy-nilly. So maybe there's a later book that says there's a new type of shuttle that just, it could transport people A and B and that kind of thing. But yeah, an interesting little couple of vehicles there. Got some use, obviously. Again, type of things that you can use as a GM to basically have it where players are maybe having to capture a vessel like this because they're carrying an important person who was trying to be a little bit low-key, for instance. Or that they're assigned to protect vessels like these from things like pirates or predation by other private concerns who may want to obtain some of the passengers, or there's important pieces of cargo being transported, that kind of thing, sensitive documents, these items for whatever reason have to be transported, that kind of thing. So there's a couple of little ideas you can do there, and of course there are also things that you would imagine that like maybe mercenary companies would have a few of themselves for being able to transport personnel during non-combat operations, back and forth, being able to liaise with different people, planetary governors, that kind of thing, different liaisons, military liaisons, bringing people up to speak for negotiations, that type of thing. These would probably be kind of common, I imagine, amongst a lot of mercenary companies that are getting some reputation, a bit of cash under them. But yeah, that about wraps up the small craft in the book Dropships and Jumpships, a book I do recommend people do pick up, as it does contain a lot of interesting little bits and pieces. But the next part of the book, and I believe the final section, is space stations, something that is mentioned quite regularly, just again offhand in a lot of Battletech's sort of writing, but not really sort of shown off that much. I don't really think space stations get much of a write-up that often in the books, but they do exist. They are fairly common across a lot of the different parts of the inner sphere. So there's also some other bits in the book that also makes it quite interesting as well. Things like space vehicle design, jump ship design. So I mean, there's whole sections that go about dropship designs, engine sections, cargo sections. I think some of this is, I think, if you were trying to come up with your own kind of, in-house design, and so they have entire write-ups describing things like the Kearney-Fukuda drive, with cross sections of an average jump ship, explanations for all the different terminologies and different sections of vessels and what they do and all these kind of things. If people want, I can go through those if people are interested in hearing about those. I mean, hell, there's even a travel timetable as well, dependent on the type of star, the jump point distance, the G's that you'd be pulling in acceleration, basically how long it takes you to get from these places. Yeah, they have like velocity distance charts. They've got docking table damage stuff. That some of the rule stuff that could be in there. If people want to hear some of this, I don't mind going through that, reading some of that. If people are really interested in those sort of the more nitty gritty details of some of the things. Other parts are literally just they're just stats, you know, for the actual game use of when you are in combat or you want to do operations involving things like warships and dropships. So, yeah, anyway, I've rambled enough. Have a good one all. Thanks for listening, as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.